Hello. As promised, I said that I was going to tell some stories about how I have recently been able to implement my brain state check and my three-step nervous system shift content. um, so the first time I used it was actually in the dentist's office. Now we all know when we go to the dentist, it's kind of a stressful environment, um, even though we're familiar with them and stuff like that. Well, I went to a brand new dentist because I had an insurance shift. Never been to this building before, never been to this dentist before. Everything was new. New sounds, new smells, new everything. And being neurodivergent, hypersensitive to that stuff, you notice it, all of it. Now, the great thing about this place was they did ask if I had any special needs. So I put down that I had autism with ADHD. And when I got there, they did ask me if I wanted a warm blanket. The blanket was cold, but it was a blanket. So that was cool. Um, but as I went through the process and sat there and stuff, I started feeling like things were, I guess you'd say, like, I understand some people might consider it paranoia, but being that I'm also very metaphysically aware and sensitive to energy shifts and stuff, I just felt like this was not going to be what I expected. I expected to be going in for a cleaning and just normal maintenance and discuss future things. No, I went in because they wanted to drill into my teeth. Like, I mean, I was in, and then they told me that I was there so that they could drill into my teeth. My very first visit ever to this place. No cleaning. No, I had to make an appointment for a cleaning later. No, I was at my first visit and they wanted to drill into my teeth. So I'm feeling this massive pressure, like this fogging, like darkness coming over me. And I realize that I cannot see past this particular moment. This feeling that's coming up, the implications that they were going to want to drill into my teeth and ask me about it. I couldn't see past that. I couldn't see what I was going to decide. I couldn't see what I wanted to do. I just felt completely stuck. And I recognized that as fog brain. So in fog brain, in fog brain, you can't see the next step. You're aware that there is a next step, but you're just completely stuck and not able to see anything beyond the very moment you're stuck in. And so the key for that one is movement. Okay, get some movement out, get some energy out, get the blood flowing. So I ended up doing some breathing exercises, some like rapid breathing exercises because I was sitting in a chair, um, but intentional, not like panicking or anything like that, but intentional, just to get the blood flowing, get the oxygen up, and stuff like that. That helped. And then it was, all right, what do I want to make a decision on? Where do I want to go with this? And it was, I knew that I didn't want them to drill into my teeth. I was not ready for that. That was not something I came there for. I was not in the right mental state for that. So then I realized I was stuck in mud brain, where I could see what I wanted, but I couldn't figure out how to actually make a decision, how to actually get to that point of being able to communicate that. So mud brain requires calming down. So here I used increased oxygen and blood flow to get an idea in my head, but then now I had to calm myself down. But I was feeling super stressed out over what all was going on. And so I used my three-step nervous system shift for the next part, which was The phrase that I was saying, sorry, first step is I am scared. I am anxious. I am terrified. I am all these things. Okay. You first say what everybody says and comes normal to them is that I am these emotions, right? And that's really, really heavy. So the second step is you remove the I am and you put in I feel. I feel nervous. I feel anxious. I feel terrified. And that takes the feeling out of an embodiment to mental. Okay, so no longer is your whole body feeling all these things. Now it's like you're recognizing that they're a feeling. They're separate from you. They're not you, which removes a lot of pressure. So next, you put back in the I am, but now you're going to add a verb. Okay, so now it's I am taking a deep breath. I am slowing this moment down. I am going to make a decision on what I will accept. And so going through these two processes, the brain state check and the nervous system shift, I was able to get myself to the point where even though it felt like the walls were closing in and I felt very stressed out in the moment, I was able to say when that dentist came in and tried to tell me that this giant tooth that I have an unusually large tooth, and you could see this perfectly toothed shadow shape when he tried to convince me that it was all a giant cavity that was perfectly tooth shaped. I was able to say, I'm not in the right state of mind to have my teeth drilled into right now. He didn't like that. But he said, okay, well, at least let me take care of this little cavity in the back. But the thing is, at this point, I knew that the first one wasn't actually a cavity because I know my teeth and I know from previous dentists. So I didn't trust him on the second one either. And so I just said, I'm not in the right state of mind to make a decision on that right now. Now, that was all I could say. That was the only thing I could get out of my mouth because I was so just overwhelmed in that moment and stressed out. Just massive tunnel vision trying to get through that particular moment. He was upset. He left. I didn't make it about me because I have the right to make a medical decision for my teeth that I want to make when I make it. And I knew what I needed and what I could not handle right then. So I did not make that about me. I let him make it about him, and that was fine. I got out of there. I was still feeling overwhelmed. Now, years ago, 5 years ago, before I started all this, an experience like that would have had me having a complete anxiety attack in the car, possibly even a panic attack, hyperventilating. I would eventually, feeling nauseous, I would eventually be able to get home and I would go into complete shutdown for 2 to 3 days easily. Just staying in bed, doing the bare minimum for 2 to 3 days, completely overwhelmed. That's where I would have been 5 years ago. Instead, what happened was I got into the car. I knew I wanted to call my safe person, so I called my safe person. And within 5 minutes, the weight completely lifted, was completely gone, and I felt completely like myself again. No issue. It was like it never even happened. And I went on for the rest of my day and the next couple days completely myself, completely normal. It was really incredible. Before I came up with these nervous system shift, these two frameworks, I probably would have let them drill into the second tooth, possibly the first. I wouldn't have been able to make a decision. Like, I wouldn't have trusted my own judgment. I wouldn't have trusted my own thinking. I would have just given to whatever the heck anybody else wanted because I'm a fawner. When I'm stressed out, I'm a fawner, so I'm a people pleaser. And that didn't happen. I did not self-abandon. I did not give up myself, my boundaries, what I needed, or any of that. So, yeah, that was the first time I ever got to use this system, and I was very grateful that I happened to come up with it, I think like a week or two before this event. So, there's the first story.